All right, our final presenter for this evening is no other than Ruka, and she be presenting on Motivation is Never Enough.
It is often said that motivation is the key to success. But is that really true? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I will be sharing some insights with you today, and the title of my presentation is Motivation is Important, but it is never enough. I'm going to share with you some other things that you should consider adding to your motivation if you want to accomplish a worthwhile goal. I have three that I'm going to be sharing with us. I'll talk about discipline and commitment, and then I'll talk about the importance of having clear, specific goals, and I'll finish up with the power of self-discipline. Let's get into it. Motivation is powerful. Motivation gets us started. You can never really even begin without motivation, but motivation alone is limited. A famous motivational speaker, Jim Rohn, said, motivation is what gets you started, but habit is what keeps you going. And that's where discipline comes in. Discipline is the consistent action and commitment to doing the things that will take you to that goal. So if you're motivated, most of the time we are motivated by outside stimuli, information, maybe listening to a motivational speaker. Maybe you watch someone and they're talking about the importance of being fit, and you're motivated, you're like, yes, I'm going to do this. But then if you're not disciplined to do the things that are required for you to accomplish that, you won't get it. And then just being disciplined, as amazing as it is, but without commitment, you can't really do much. Commitment is when you have your skin in the game. When you have decided that I'm going to do this no matter what. There's this beautiful story of commitment that I read. This young boy, he had this aspiration of completing his high school diploma. And the home where he was residing, he was privileged to have a room, and he was excited about it. He's like, yes, I now have a space where I can study without disruption. And then one day he comes back from school, he's been kicked out of that room. And that was just the beginning. But it didn't stop him. He was sent to a kitchen with just a light bulb. He was like, okay, I can make it here. And then it got even worse because the person hosting him was just like when you say someone sent from hell, because they didn't want him to turn on the lights at night. So they decided to disconnect the power to that room, to that kitchen. So he couldn't study. But he wanted to accomplish this so bad. What would you do in that situation? It didn't stop him. He had to look for other ways to study and accomplish his diploma. That is a proof of commitment. And this young boy is none other than our amazing professor who is making it possible for us to be all here today, Professor Najam. I will encourage you to get the book, Fated to Win, by Professor. I will really encourage you. It's a powerful read. There are so many valuable lessons in that book. There are so many things I'm applying to my life that I got from that book. So please, do get it. So that's a story of commitment. Commitment is when you say, I'm going to do it, when everything around you is failing. If he was just motivated, he would have given up when he was kicked out, or maybe when there was no power. He had all the excuses, but he didn't. So motivation is amazing. He was motivated to go to school and get his diploma, and he was disciplined to do the work that was needed. He wanted to study. But when things weren't working, commitment had to show up because he had to push through when everything was failing. And that moves me to my second point. the importance of having specific goals. Motivation alone won't get you far if you don't have something specific to channel your motivation to. It's important that you should have SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. I love the time aspect of goals because without that time frame, it's easy to procrastinate. If you, let's say it's the beginning of the year, you're motivated to maybe lose 10 pounds. If you don't have a specific time by which you intend to lose those 10 pounds, you can take it to December. Because maybe you woke up today, it was raining. You're like, I can do it tomorrow. But if you said, in 30 days, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, there's an activity. So your goal should be measurable. You should have specific activities, like I'm going to do this on these days. So it's important that you have them written. Because once you have those things written, you will not be able to procrastinate. You know that there's something I have to do today that if I don't do it, it's pulling me back. So your goal should be specific. They should be measurable. And they should be attainable. It should not be something beyond your reach. Like you don't just wake up and you're 200 pounds and you said in the next 30 days I'm going to be 100 pounds. That's impossible. So we have to be realistic with your goals. What can you do considering your lifestyle? So goals, discipline, commitment are essential to success. And then my third and final point, the power of self-discipline. Self-discipline is an inward trait. Self-discipline is the ability to hold yourself accountable to do the things you said you were going to do. Motivation will wane. And sometimes the people around you might even discourage you. But then, if you are a self-disciplined person, you will push yourself to accomplish your goals. The last time I drank soda was over 8 years ago. Personal preference. I don't judge anybody who drinks it, but I learned about the side effects of it. I am so into self-care and healthy living, so when something is not working, I cut it off. I had people who made fun of me when they started. And by the way, self-discipline is not easy when you start, but it is hardest at the beginning. As you keep doing it, it gets easier. So I'll go to events, and everybody will be having fun. And they'll be like, oh, what would you like? I said, water. That's all I drink. Do you think I don't want the soda? I desire it, but I have a goal. I have something I'm working towards that I know if I yield to that, it's going to pull me back. So I am disciplined. I'm not because I'm accountable to anybody. I'm accountable to myself. So when you have a clear goal, when you have something you're working towards, there comes a time where you have to discipline yourself because the temptations will come to distract you, to discourage you. You have to stand for yourself. To sum these up, motivation is powerful. You can't even get started without being motivated. But if you're just going to depend on motivation, you'll never get there. However, when you're motivated, and then you add discipline, commitment, having your goals outlined with a time limit, and then you develop that self-discipline in you, it makes a powerful success formula. I hope these insights have helped you to realize that as amazing as motivation is, it by itself is never enough. Thank you for listening. As you already know, my name is Ruka Neba. Thank you.